I'm Henry Bharat. Today I'm talking about rocket. Rocket has 4 body parts: nose cone, fins, body, and engine. When you put on the fire, it goes to the space. Some rockets we go speeder than the sound. Some rockets can shoot. Sometimes some rockets shoot the fireworks. Everyone, my name is Vanya. I will take you in the space with my spacecraft. This is our solar system. This is a planet revolving round the sun. The first one is Mercury. It's the smallest planet. The next one is Venus. It's the hottest planet. The next one is Earth. It's got the blue planet. It's got only one moon revolving around the Earth. The next one is Mars. It's made of, called red color. It got the highest mountain. The next one is Jupiter. It's the largest planet. The next one is Saturn. It's got rings. The next one is Uranus. It's the cold, icy planet. The next one is Neptune. It's called the coldest planet. Thank you, everyone. Hope you enjoying. Bye bye. I am a sun. The earth depends on me. I'm orange-red color. I'm rounding shape. I'm burning ball of fire filled with gas. I'm center of solar system. I'm closest to Earth. All planets revolve in me. I'm only star in solar system. I rise in the east and set in the west. I'm very big indeed. I'm closest star to Earth. I'm far away from the Earth. I'm powerful. This is all about me. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Laksha. We now will travel to space. This is my solar system. There are 9 planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. And I am telling about sun, moon, and star. The sun color is orange red. The sun shape is circle. The sun name is Sol, and the star shape is circle. And the coolest star color is red color. Hottest star color is blue color. And moon cold in the night, hot in the day. And we'll going in the back will Earth. Thanks. Bye. Hi ma'am, I am Danishka. I like rocket because I can see. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಮಾಣಿಕ್ಯ. ಇಂದು ನಾನು ಮತ್ತೆ ನನ್ನ ಗೆಳೆಯರು ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಜ್ಯವಾದ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಇತಿಹಾಸ, ವಿಶೇಷತೆ ಹಾಗೂ ವೈಶಿಷ್ಟ್ಯಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಿಳಿಸುತ್ತೇವೆ. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಟ್ಟು 30 ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಗಳಿವೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿನ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಗಳು ತನ್ನದೇ ಆದಂತಹ ಇತಿಹಾಸವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದೆ. ಅವುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ತಿಳಿಸಲು ನನ್ನ ಗೆಳೆಯರು ಸಿದ್ಧರಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ನಾನು ಹಾಗೂ ನನ್ನ ಗೆಳೆಯ ಭುವನ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಯಾದ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನ ಭಾಗಕ್ಕೆ ಸುಲದೇವ. ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ದೊಡ್ಡ ನಗರವಾಗಿದೆ. ಕ್ರಿಸ್ತ ಶಕ 1532ರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಲಹಂಕ ನಾಡಪ್ರಭು ಕೆಂಪೇಗೌಡರಿಂದ ನಿರ್ಮಾಣವಾಗಿದೆ. ಇದು ಭಾರತದ 5ನೇ ದೊಡ್ಡ ನಗರವಾಗಿದೆ. ಅತಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಜನಸಂಖ್ಯೆಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದ್ದು ಇದು ಸಿಲಿಕಾನ್ ವ್ಯಾಲಿ ಎಂದು ಪ್ರಸಿದ್ಧವಾಗಿದೆ. ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಭುವನ್. ಎತ್ತರದ ಪ್ರದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ನಗರವು ವರ್ಷವಿಡೀ ತಂಪಾದ ವಾತಾವರಣವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದೆ. ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಕೆರೆಗಳನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಬಹುದು. ಕಬ್ಬನ್ ಪಾರ್ಕ್, ಲಾಲ್ ಬಾಗ್ ದೊಡ್ಡ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಉದ್ಯಾನವನಗಳನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದ ಉದ್ಯಾನ ನಗರಿ ಎಂದು ಪ್ರಸಿದ್ಧವಾಗಿದೆ. ವಿಶ್ವದ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ತಂತ್ರಜ್ಞಾನ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದ ಉದ್ಯಮಿಗಳ ಅಚ್ಚುಮೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಗರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು. ಈಗ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪ್ರಸಿದ್ಧ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಯಾದ ಕೊಡಗಿನ ಕುರಿತು ಅನನ್ಯಳು ತಿಳಿಸಿಕೊಡುತ್ತಾಳೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮೊದಲು ಆರಾಧನಾ ಮತ್ತು ಆನಂದಿತ ಕೊಡಗಿನ ಕಾವೇರಿಯ ವರ್ಣನೆಯ ನೃತ್ಯ ಮಾಡಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕೊಡಗು ಪ್ರದೇಶವು ಹಸಿರು ವನರಾಶಿಯಿಂದ ಕೂಡಿದೆ. ಇದು ಕಾವೇರಿ ನದಿಯ ಉಗಮ ಸ್ಥಾನವಾಗಿದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿನ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಬೆಳೆ ಕಾಫಿ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿನ ಟಿಬೆಟಿನ ಮಾದರಿಯ ಸ್ವರ್ಣದೀರ್ಘವನ್ನ ಕುಶಾಲನಗರದ ಬೈಲುಕುಪ್ಪೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಬಹುದು. ಇಲ್ಲಿನ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ನದಿಗಳು, ಪ್ರವಾಸಗಳು, ಮುಖ್ಯ ಬೆಳೆ, ಜನಪದ ಕಲೆ, ಕವಿಗಳು ಇತ್ಯಾದಿಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅದ್ವೈತ್, ಚೇತಸ್, ರಿಷಿಕಾ ತಿಳಿಸಿಕೊಡುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಅರ್ಕಾವತಿ, ಮಲಪ್ರಭಾ, ವೇದಾವತಿ, ಶಿಂಷಾ, ಕೃಷ್ಣ, ಕಾವೇರಿ, ಭದ್ರಾ ನದಿ ಇತ್ಯಾದಿ ನದಿಗಳು ಹರಿಯುತ್ತವೆ. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಇತಿಹಾಸ ಪ್ರಸಿದ್ಧ ಪ್ರವಾಸಿ ಸ್ಥಳಗಳು ಯಾವುದೆಂದರೆ ಮೈಸೂರು ಅರಮನೆ, ಬೀದರ್ ಕೋಟೆ, ಮೇಲುಕೋಟೆ, ಬಾದಾಮಿ, ಇಸ್ಕಾನ್, ಹಂಪಿ, ಪಟ್ಟದಕಲ್ಲು, ಹಲ್ಲೆಬೀಡು, ಐಹೊಳೆ, ಬೇಲೂರು, ಶ್ರವಣಬೆಳಗೊಳ ಇವುಗಳಾಗಿವೆ. ಅಲ್ಲದೆ ಇತಿಹಾಸ ಪ್ರಸಿದ್ಧ ದೇವಾಲಯಗಳನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದೆ. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಚೇತಸ್. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಬೆಳೆಗಳು ತೆಂಗು, ಭತ್ತ, ಜೋಳ, ಕರಿಮೆಣಸು, ಹತ್ತಿ, ಕಬ್ಬು, ಹಣ್ಣುಗಳಾದ ಮಾವಿನ ಹಣ್ಣು, ಬಾಳೆ ಹಣ್ಣು, ಸೇಬು, ದ್ರಾಕ್ಷಿ ಹಾಗೂ ತರಕಾರಿಗಳಾದ ಎಲೆಕೋಸು, ಸೌತೆಕಾಯಿ,
ಟೊಮಾಟೊ, ಆಲೂಗಡ್ಡೆ, ಈರುಳ್ಳಿ, ಬಟಾಣಿ ಇತ್ಯಾದಿಗಳನ್ನು ಬೆಳೆಸುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಿಸುವ ಜಲಪಾತಗಳು ಯಾವುವೆಂದರೆ ಅಬ್ಬಿ ಜಲಪಾತ, ಬನಚುಕ್ಕಿ ಜಲಪಾತ, ಜೋಗ್ ಜಲಪಾತ, ಚುಂಚನಕಟ್ಟೆ, ಹನುಮಾನಗುಂಡಿ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ರಿಷಿಕಾ. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಪ್ರಸಿದ್ಧ ಜಾನಪದ ಕಲೆಗಳು ಸುಗ್ಗಿ ಕುಣಿತ, ಕೋಲಾಟ, ಭೂತಾರಾಧನೆ, ಗೊಂಬೆ ಆಟ, ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಕರಗ, ನಾಗಾರಾಧನೆ, ಉತ್ತರಿ, ಗೊರವರ ಕುಣಿತ, ಯಕ್ಷಗಾನ, ಡೊಳ್ಳು ಕುಣಿತ, ಹುಲಿವೇಷ, ಚಿತ್ತಾರ ಇವುಗಳಾಗಿವೆ. ಪ್ರಸಿದ್ಧ ಕವಿಗಳಾದಂತಹ ಗೋವಿಂದ ಪೈ, ಕುವೆಂಪು, ಜಿ.ಎಸ್. ಶಿವರುದ್ರಪ್ಪ, ಬೆಟಗೇರಿ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಶರ್ಮಾ, ಮಾಸ್ತಿ ವೆಂಕಟೇಶ ಅಯ್ಯಂಗರ್, ಸಿದ್ದಯ್ಯ ಪುರಾಣಿಕ, ಪಂಚೆ ಮಂಗೇಶರಾಯ, ದಾರಾ ಬೇಂದ್ರೆ ಇವರೆಲ್ಲ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ ಪುಣ್ಯಭೂಮಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕವಾಗಿದೆ. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ನನ್ನ ಗೆಳೆಯರು ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಜ್ಯವಾದ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಿಳಿಸಿಕೊಟ್ಟ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಇಷ್ಟವಾಯಿತೆಂದು ತಿಳಿದಿರುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
Hi everyone, my name is Tanishri and I am going to talk about the evolution of communication. Communication is very important. It is a key to understanding between people. Technology has redefined communication. Let us see how communication has evolved through the years. Cave paintings. The oldest form of symbols used for communication is cave paintings. Carrier pigeons. Over 2000 years ago, the ancient Romans used pigeons as primary messengers between military men. Postal system. The mail or post is a system for physically transporting postcards, letters, and parcels. Newspaper. In 1440, Johannes Gutenberg developed the printing press. With this, the newspaper began to flourish. Radio. In 1888, Heinrich Rudolf Hertz discovered Hertzian waves, which helped radio broadcasting in early 20th century. Telegraph. In 1844, Samuel Morse sent his first telegraph message. Telephone. It was invented by Alexander Graham Bell in 1876. In the 1900s, landline telephone service began and is still in use. Television. Along with telephones, television started to become a mode of indirect communication to the mass audience. Next came the Internet. After the creation of computers in 1950s, ARPANET, the predecessor of Internet, was developed. The term Internet first emerged in 1973. Tim Berners-Lee, a scientist, introduced the World Wide Web. With the onset of Internet, electronic mail started to become popular. Text message. The first official SMS messaging took place in 1992. Social media. The latest mode of communication in the digital era is the use of social media platforms. It has become more available because of the smartphones, where social media apps can easily be installed. Thank you. Thank you. Let's move on to the next person.
Hello friends and teachers. My name is Advika. I'm going to tell you about transport. Transport, the word. Transport as verb. Take or carry people or goods from one place to another. Example, transport the food by ship. Synonym. Take, carry, send, transfer, move. Transport as noun. A system of moving people or goods from place to place. Example, some people have their own transport. Synonym, transportation, transfer, movement, vehicle, carriage. History of transport. The first and best transport is walking. Then the wheel was invented. We got carts and wheelbarrows. About the same time, boats were also invented. Then the steam engine was invented and we got the first automobiles like trains and steamboats. This is locomotion number 1, the world's first steam engine. Thereafter came all our motor-powered vehicles, cars, airplanes, ships. This is Benz automobile, the world's first car. Then came transports that can take us to space, rockets and spacecraft. Types of transport: animal-powered, human-powered, automotive. Animal-powered transport use animals to move people or goods like horses, camels, bullock carts, and dog sleighs. Human-powered transport use human muscle power to move people or goods like palanquin, cycling, cycle rickshaw, skiing, rowing, running, and walking. Automotive.
or motor vehicles are self-propelled. This means they do not need human or animal power to move like cars, trucks, motorboats and motorcycles. Mode of transport: land, air, water, other modes. Land transport provides movement to people and goods on land like buses, cars, trains and trucks. These are stamps showing history of land transport in India. It has palanquins, carts, rickshaws, cars, double-decker bus and metro rail. Water transport provides movement to people and goods on or in water, like boats and ships travel on water and submarines travel underwater. Air transport provides movement of people and goods by air. They can fly from one place to another like airplanes, helicopters, balloons and gliders. Other transports are pipeline transport where liquids and gases are moved through pipelines, cable transport where cars with people or goods are moved on a cable. Space transport provides movement of people and goods to space and other planets like Mangalyaan to Mars. Simply speaking, transport is the easiest way of movement for humans, animals and goods from one place to another. Thank you.
Good morning everyone. My name is Sharav. Today I'm going to talk about the dances done in 80s and 90s. Types of dances done in 80s and 90s. The prep, the wob, the biz, the cabbage patch, etc. In 90s, Wagyu, the running man, the sprinkler, pigeon play, etc. The prep 80s. Let me show you a few famous. The prep 80s. The prep is done by moving their hands in the air. Look at me. Let me show you. The snake 80s. The snake dance is done by making a wave. Look at me. Let me show you how. The running man 90s. The running man is done by jogging and doing a few hand movements. Let me show you how. Pigeon play 90s. The pigeon play dance is done by making a circle while hopping. Let me actually show you. Thank you.
Hello everyone. Good morning. Respected principal, teachers and my dear friends. A warm welcome. This is Shreyansh Dash on behalf of grade 3 to lead you all through our solar system. This is It's an awesome experience to be out under the night sky, isn't it? No matter what the age, we know very little about our universe, space, and solar system. Thinking of the possibilities of what can exist in the infinite miles beyond our Earth. Come, let's start our journey through the solar system along with third graders. Are you ready? Now let's move on and learn about the solar system.
Can I start, ma'am?
Yes, Masi, you should see the top. RAC, when you see it means you have to start. Start. I shouldn't speak in between. This is trial, it's fine weather. So next time when you see that, you can start.
Hello everyone. I'm Veda Harish from grade 3B. Today me and my friend Rushank are going to present about sun and solar system. I would like to say about solar system using the 3D model I have made. The solar system consists of central star, the sun, planets orbiting the sun. That starts with Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Other things in solar system are asteroids, comets, meteorites, asteroid belt, Kuiper belt, and stars. The solar system came into being about 4.5 billion years ago when a cloud of gas and dust collapsed, resulting in a solar nebula, a swirling disk of material that collided to form the solar system. The solar system is located in the Milky Way's Orion star cluster. Planets. Planets are divided into two categories, terrestrial and Jovian. Terrestrial planets. The below mentioned four planets are the terrestrial planets. Mercury. It is the smallest and closest planet to the Sun. It has the shortest orbit in the solar system. It takes 88 days to revolve around the Sun. Venus is the hottest planet. Temperatures of up to 867 degrees Fahrenheit. Earth is the only planet that can sustain life. It revolves around the Sun once in every 365 days. It has one moon. Mars is known as the red planet. It has two moons. It takes 687 days to complete an orbit. Jovian planets. Beyond the terrestrial planets come the Jovian planets. The four Jovian planets are Jupiter. It is the largest planet in the solar system. It takes about 12 years to orbit the Sun. It has 60 known moons. Saturn is the second largest planet in the solar system. Saturn has 18 known moons. It takes 30 years to orbit the Sun. Uranus. It is a very cold planet. It takes 84 years to complete one orbit. Neptune. It is the coldest planet. It takes 165 years to complete one orbit. It has 8 moons. Asteroids and asteroid belt. An asteroid is a small rocky body that orbits the Sun and are smaller than a planet. An asteroid belt is a flat disk of rocky objects.
This is a region between Mars and Jupiter, Kuiper belt. This is another disk of space debris lies much further out and orbit the Jovian planets. Meteoroids. These are objects, asteroids that are on a collision course with Earth. Comets. A comet is a body of ice, dust, and bits of rock that passes through space leaving a tail. That is all about solar system. I'll hand it to Rushank to speak about sun. Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you, Veda. Hi everyone, my name is Rushank and today I'm going to talk about the sun. What is the sun? The sun is a massive star that provides heat and light, and it is the center of our solar system. It is the most important source of energy for life on Earth. The sun contains around 98% of all the material in the solar system. Energy from the sun passes to an imaginary disk that has a diameter equal to the Earth's diameter. How big is the sun? The distance between the sun and the Earth is 147.1 million kilometers. The sun's circumference is 109 times the circumference of the Earth, which is 40,000 kilometers into 109 equals to 43 lakh 60,000. Why is sun hot? The sun is made up of burning churning hot gas, also known as plasma. The different properties of plasma, such as temperature and density, create various layers within the sun's structure. Energy is created through a process called nuclear fusion. Atoms can travel so fast that when they collide, they fuse together and release energy. Hydrogen atoms within sun fuse to form helium and release energy we receive as heat and light. Temperature 15 million Kelvin. A stream of charged particles is constantly being emitted from the sun in all directions that help the planets form their magnetic fields. Charged particles, ions, electrons, and neutrons that come from the sun in every direction. It is important to get a little sunshine, which, which has a lot of benefits to our body, like improves sleep, reduces stress, maintains strong bones, and strengthens our immune system. Astronomers estimate that the sun has about 7 billion to 8 billion years left before it sputters out and dies. If the sun failed to turn back on an hour, we would have serious problems. Certainly, within a week, the temperature on Earth would have dropped below freezing. People on the coasts might survive longer than the rest because of the heat, heat the oceans would release. Thank you everyone for your time. Bye.
Stop recording, Tushank.
Bharti, and today me and my friend Advika will be talking about Mercury. Mercury is the smallest planet and the closest planet to the sun, but surprisingly, it is not the hottest. Do you know why? It's because Mercury does not have an atmosphere to trap the heat. Since it is the closest to the sun, Mercury has no natural moons and also no rings. Mercury can be seen just before and after sun rises and sets. Like Earth, it is made out of silicate minerals and metals on the outside. This is called the crust. Mercury has a partly molten iron core which is 80% of the planet's mass.
Between the crust and the core is the mantle, which, which is 400 miles thickness of silicate rock. The gravity on Mercury is 38% that of Earth, which means if you are 100 kgs on Earth, you will only be 38 kgs on Mercury. I hope you like. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you. Now Advika will say more interesting facts about Mercury.
Hello, friends and teachers. My name is Advika. I'm going to tell you about the planet Mercury. Mercury was named after the Roman messenger god because it's the fastest planet the Romans had ever seen. Mercury is the smallest and closest planet to the Sun in the solar system. It takes Mercury a total of 88 Earth days to complete one orbit. 1 year of, of Mercury is equal to 88 Earth days. Mercury takes 59 Earth days to complete a single rotation. 1 day on Mercury is equal to 59 days on Earth. The diameter of Mercury is 4,879 kilometer with which is about 38% of the diameter of Earth. If we put three Mercuries side by side, they would be a little larger than the Earth from end to end. 18 Mercuries would fit into one Earth. 20 Mercuries weigh as much as Earth. Mercury's gravity is about 38% of Earth's gravity. So 100 kg on Earth is equal to 38 kg on Mercury. Like Earth, Mercury is a terrestrial planet, which means it is made up of silicate minerals and metals. Mercury has a solid metal core inside a molten metal core. It has a silicate crust and mantle. Mercury has a dry landscape with asteroid impact craters, lava flows, and extensive plains. Mercury has a weak and variable exosphere that is made up of hydrogen, helium, oxygen, sodium, calcium, potassium, and water vapor. Mercury has an extreme variation in temperature. The side that faces the sun can reach temperature of up to 427 degrees centigrade. So days are very hot. The side that is in darkness can reach temperature as low as minus 173 degrees centigrade. So nights are very cold. Mercury, like Earth, has water ice in its polar regions. Mercury has no natural satellite. Mercury has no rings. Two spacecraft have visited Mercury. Mariner 10 flew by in 1974 and 1975. Messenger launched in 2004 orbited Mercury over 4,000 times in 4 years before exhausting its fuel and crashing into the planet's surface on April 30, 2015. The Bepic Colombo spacecraft is planned to arrive at Mercury in 2025. Thank you.
Towards your right. Yes.
Good morning, my name is Prajit and this is my model. In the model, you can see where Venus is. I'm from grade 3B and my group project is Venus. And my partner is Tanishka. Unfortunately, Tanishka will not be joining us today because she has some family.
Yes.
Good morning, ma'am, and to all. I am Tejaswini, and my partners are My partners are Tanushree and Vaishnavi. The topic is on Earth, phases of Moon representing fraction using Moon. And my topic is on Earth and facts of Moon. This is the model which I have made, and you can see you can see the picture on Earth. Earth is Earth is the truly unique among all the planets. It is very beautiful with white clouds, blue ocean, and green land. Earth is around 4.5 billion years old. The atmosphere of the Earth consists of 77% of nitrogen and 21% of oxygen. Earth is the third planet from our sun and our own planet. Earth is the fifth largest planet of our solar system. The diameter of Earth is 6.371 kilometers. Earth revolves around the sun once every 365 days. This is known as Earth year. The average distance it travels is 149 million kilometers. Earth is a square sphere. People often think of Earth as a gigantic sphere, but in fact, its shape is more like a squash ball that bulges out the equator. Time on Earth. Let's move on to time on Earth. In one day on the Earth, in one day, the planet rotates on its axis in 93.9 hours. The Earth temperature is estimated to be 5.400 degrees Celsius. Comparison and size of Earth on each planet. In comparison to Mercury, 38% of Earth diameter. Venus, 94% of Earth diameter. Mars, half the size of Earth. Neptune and Uranus are the 4 times bigger than Earth. Jupiter has more than 11 times Earth diameter. Saturn, 9.5 times Earth diameter. The first image of the Earth taken from space is at 24th October 1946. Let's move on to facts of Moon. The Moon facts of the Moon. Let's move on to facts of Moon. The Moon is Earth's only natural satellite. A natural satellite is a space body that orbits a planet. The Moon orbits the Earth every 27.3 days. The first person to set foot on the Moon was Neil Armstrong. The Moon does not shine on its own. It reflects the sunlight. The revolution of the Moon around the Earth causes the Moon to appear to have phases. Tanushri will be continued.
Phases of Moon represented using fractions. Fractions represent parts of a whole or a collection. A fraction has two parts. The number on the top of the line is called the numerator. It tells us how many equal parts of the whole or a collection are taken. The number below the line is called the denominator. It shows the total divisible number of equal parts. The whole into or the total number of equal parts which are there in a collection. Let's move on to Vaishnavi for a phase of Moon.
Good morning. My name is Vaishnavi. I am going to tell you about phases of moon. New moon. The moon is not visible from Earth. It is between the sun and the Earth with dark light facing the Earth. The phase lasts for one night.
At new moon, the percent illuminated is 0, which means whole portion of the moon is not visible to us. The corresponding fraction is 0 by 1.
Waxing crescent. Waxing crescent. Waxing means that the bright light
is increasing, the right side is bright side. This includes any visible moon from a small cellular to almost half.
At waxing crescent phase, only one of the 8 portion of the moon is visible. Corresponding fraction is 1 by 8.
First quarter or half moon. For the entire right side of the moon is illuminated and it looks like a half circle. This place lasts for a night.
At first quarter, it is 50% illuminated, which is 4 by 8 or 1 by 2 portion of the moon.
Waxing gibbous. Waxing gibbous. Means more than one half is visible, but it is not quite full. The phase includes the night after half moon and is still the night for full moon.
At waxing gibbous, 6 of 8 portions will be visible, making it 6 by 8 or 3 by 4 of the moon.
Full moon. The moon is full and bright. It looks like a large circle. Illuminated side is Earth. This phase lasts for one night.
At full moon, the percent illuminated is 100, which means whole portion of the moon is visible to us. The corresponding fraction is 1 by 1.
Waning gibbous. Waning gibbous. The moon appears more than a half, but not quite full. Waning means that the illuminated side is decreasing, the left side is bright side.
At waning gibbous, 6 of 8 portions of the moon will be visible, making it 6 by 8 or 3 by 4 of the moon.
Third quarter or half moon. Left half of the moon is illuminated. This phase lasts for a night.
At third quarter, it is 50% visible, illuminated 50% illuminated, which is 1 by 2 portion of moon.
Waning crescent. Waning crescent. Less than one half of the moon is illuminated. The moon will continue to become smaller and smaller.
At waning crescent phase, only one of the 8 portion of the moon is visible. Corresponding fraction is 1 by 8. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, ma'am. This is Hashita, and my partner is Purti. Here we are telling about Mars, and I am introducing about Mars. Let's start. Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun. It is the second smallest planet in the solar system. Its surface rocky, dusty, and dry. Mars has 2 moons named Phobos and Deimos. Now let's move on to the red planet. Mars is called the red planet. It is because the iron present in the soil forms rust, making the soil and atmosphere look red. Now my friend Spurti will continue the presentation. Ma'am, this Spurti. Ma'am, this is a model on Mars. Life in Mars. Scientists believe that living organisms can exist in Mars due to the similarities in its atmosphere to that of Earth. To date, no evidence of life has been found on Mars. However, in Assist time, Mars environment may have had water to support in microorganisms. 1 year in Mars, 687 days on Earth. This means that it takes Mars 687 days to complete a full revolution around the Sun, while it takes 364 days. 1 day in Mars, 1 day 37 minutes on Earth. Earth has 24 hours in a day. Mars has 24 hours and 37 minutes in a day. Next, let's move on to the Mongolian planet. Mongolian Mars Orbiter Mission (MOM) is India's first space mission. It was launched on November 5, 2013 by Indian Space Research Organisation (ISRO). The satellite is orbiting Mars since 24 September 2015. Thank you. Sorry, not thank you. Next, the model. Ma'am, this is the model.
Can I say hello, friends? This is the model showing asteroid belt. This is the sun. And this is the asteroid belt. Hello, friends. Today we all are talking about solar system. By now, my friends have already told many facts about solar system. As our solar system is analyzed, so are its facts. Today, myself and Anirudh will be all about rocky bodies that you can see between Mars, Earth, Jupiter. Can you please tell more about this?
What is an asteroid belt?
The asteroid belt is a region in between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter, where most of the asteroids in our solar system are found. This asteroid belt is also called the main asteroid belt or main belt. To distinguish it from other asteroids populations in the solar system, such as near Earth asteroids.
How was the asteroid belt formed?
Asteroids came from the planet as they were forming. Excess materials was thrown away or pulled into the asteroid belt, where it remains today.
Where is it located?
It is located between the orbits of the planet Jupiter and Mars.
How far
is the asteroid belt from the Earth?
The
Karnal?
distance between Earth and the asteroid belt is about 628.3 million kilometers from our planet Earth.
Do asteroids revolve around the sun?
Yes, they revolve around the sun. It takes 3 to 6 Earth years to complete one revolution around the sun.
Can we live on asteroid?
No, we cannot live on an asteroid. On Earth, we are protected by a magnetic field and our atmosphere, but asteroid lacks this atmosphere.
What is the temperature on an asteroid belt?
The temperature of the asteroid belt varies with the distance from the sun. For dust particles within the belt, typical temperatures range from 200.
What is the significance of asteroid belt?
The asteroid belt, sometimes referred to as the main asteroid belt, orbits between Mars and Jupiter. It consists of asteroids and minor planets forming a disk around the Sun. It also serves as a sort of dividing line between the inner rocky planets and outer gas giants.
What will happen if there is no asteroid belt?
Astronomers think that if it were not for the great giant planet Jupiter exerting its gravitational force on the asteroids in the belt, the inner planets would be constantly bombarded by large asteroids. The presence of Jupiter actually protects Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars from repeated asteroid collisions. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. And I'll get out.
Yes, you can start.
Good morning. Myself, Tiala, and my friend Samriddhi are giving a presentation on the largest planet, Jupiter. Jupiter, the fifth planet of the solar system. Jupiter, the giant planet. It is named after the Roma god Jupiter, rule of Roma gods. Jupiter is the largest planet within the solar system. It has a great red spot. It is rotating storm system inside the planet. Now my friend will continue.
Its diameter is 11 times bigger than that of Earth. It takes about 12 Earth years for from Jupiter to orbit around the Sun. Jupiter has 16 moons. 2 Earths would fit into it. Thank you. Jupiter's red spot. 2 Earths would fit inside. Storm has begun dragging of 400 years. It is it's a storm that becomes larger by consuming other storms. Thank you.
Yes.
Good morning, friends. I'm Ranadkar of grade 3A. I will talk about the sixth planet of our solar system called Saturn. friends. Friends, this is Saturn. It is the second largest planet. It is the second largest planet of our solar system. In the night sky, Saturn is visible like point of light to the unaided eye. Unaided eye. Saturn is named after Roman god of agriculture, Saturn. With its gold color and beautiful rings, this is a gem of a planet. Its size is about 10 times that of Earth. Saturn is a gas giant and has no true surface. It is less dense than 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 water. It's mostly made of gases that swirl around creating golden clouds and storms. Saturn's rings are divided into 7 systems, and the moons help the rings to stay in shape. In shape. Let us see the presentation of this brilliant planet. Brilliant planet. The Saturn is at a distance of 1.4 billion kilometers from the Sun. When the planet goes around the Sun in one full circle, it's called revolution. Saturn goes around the Sun very slowly. Very slowly. One Saturn year is almost 30 Earth years. When the planet turns around on its own axis, it is called rotation. Saturn rotates on its axis very fast. Earth takes 24 hours to complete one rotation, and Saturn takes only 10 hours to complete one rotation. So one day of Saturn is 10 Earth hours. Saturn is a massive planet with 95 times the mass of Earth. The interesting thing here is that because it is filled with gases like helium, Saturn is very light. So if you could fit Saturn in a giant bathtub, it would float. Saturn's rings are made up of millions of ice crystals, dust, and rocks. Some are as small as dust particles, and some are as big as houses. Saturn has 82 moons, and the largest moon is called Titan. Titan is bigger than Earth and also has an atmosphere and clouds. 20 new moons were discovered in 2019, which made Saturn the planet with maximum number of moons. Although Saturn cannot support life, but there could be life on one of Saturn's moons, Enceladus. Saturn appears as one of the 5 planets visible with the unaided eye. If Saturn is in the sky at night, you can head outside and see it. To see the rings and the ball of the planet itself, you need a telescope. I'll not laugh. But Mama, I will not. Don't get angry. But Mama, read again. Try again. Read again. Sit straight.
Good. Yes.
Okay, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Arika, and our group project is Uranus. Uranus, the seventh planet. Uranus is the seventh planet from the Sun. A British astronomer, William Herschel, discovered Uranus on March 13, 1781, with his telescope. Uranus is visible to the naked eye. Uranus, the ice giant. Uranus has the coldest atmosphere of any of the planets in this solar system. The planet is often called as an ice giant since at least 80% of its mass is a fluid mix of water, methane, and ammonia ice. Uranus takes 84 Earth years to take one round around the sun. Uranus, the ringed planet. Uranus is surrounded by a set of 13 rings. Uranus is hiding 13 invisible rings. The thin, narrow rings composed of dark particles are invisible from Earth. The innermost ring is reddish and the outer ring is blue, with the most of the rings being grayish. Life on Uranus. Uranus has no solid surface. Uranus is really cold. Life on Uranus would have to be vastly different from anything we have here on Earth to be able to survive. The studies about life on Uranus is still going on. Thank you.
Ma'am, hi, I am Divyansh. This is this is model of Uranus planet. Thank you.
Neptune, the blue planet. Neptune, the blue planet, presented by Dhanvi, Praneeth, and Samik. Neptune is an ice giant, fourth largest planet by diameter. It is the third massive and densest planet. It is the eighth farthest planet in our solar system. Neptune is 3.8 times larger than Earth. 165 Earth years it takes for Neptune to rotate around the Sun once. Neptune's atmosphere: 18% hydrogen, 19% helium, 1% methane. Guess what? Methane makes the blue color of Neptune. Who discovered Neptune? Three scientists discovered Neptune, named John Couch Adams from Britain, Urbain Le Verrier from France. In 1846, Neptune was first discovered by Le Verrier. Georg Gottfried Galle from Berlin used the calculations by Le Verrier and Adams to find the location of Neptune. Neptune was the first planet to be discovered based on mathematical calculations rather than astronomical observation.
What is Neptune made of? It's made of gases. Upper atmosphere, top clouds. Atmosphere contains hydrogen, helium, and methane gas. Mantle contains water, ammonia, and methane ices. Core, the inner core, is made of rock and ice. The 14 moons of Neptune: Naiad, Larissa, Despina, Pilati, Larissa, Protus, Naiad. Naiad is the first moon that orbits around Neptune. Hippocamp is the newly discovered moon and the smallest moon of Neptune. The biggest moon of Neptune is Triton is the biggest moon of Neptune. Thank you, ma'am.
Good afternoon, principal sir, teachers, and friends. My name is Vedant. Aris and I will take you on an awesome journey across Kuiper Belt. The Kuiper What is Kuiper Belt and how it appears? The Kuiper Belt is the one of the largest structure in our solar system, others being the Oort cloud, the heliosphere, and the magnetosphere of Jupiter. Its overall shape is like a puffed up disk or donut. Its inner main region, its inner edge begins at the orbit of Neptune at about 30 AU from the Sun. 1 AU or astronomical unit is the distance from the Earth to the Sun. The inner main region of the Kuiper Belt ends to around 50 AU from the Sun. Overlapping the outer edge of the Kuiper Belt is a second region called scattered disk, which continues outward to nearly 1000 AU on orbits that go even further beyond. It's upon to you, Aris.
Inside the Kuiper Belt, this belt is vast, mysterious, cold, and dark. There may be hundreds of thousands of icy bodies larger than 100 kilometers or more comets within the Kuiper Belt. Several dwarf planets within the Kuiper Belt have moons. Pluto was the first Kuiper Belt object to be discovered. How was Kuiper Belt created? How was Kuiper Belt created? Astronomers think the icy object of the Kuiper Belt are remains left over from the formation of the solar system. Neptune's gravity stirred up this region of space so much that the small icy objects they weren't able to collide into a large planet. Continue, Vedant. Over to Vedant.
The Kuiper Belt was first discovered by astronomer Jarl Kuiper in 1951. The first mission to explore the Kuiper Belt in New Horizons, it flew past Pluto in 2015 and is on its way to explore another Kuiper Belt world. It's upon to URS.
Thank you for your undivided attention. It was a pleasure to take you for a ride across the Kuiper Belt. This is our capable model. Thank you all teachers for your support and guidance.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. This is our capable model. Thank you to you all teachers, support and guidance.
Starlight, star bright, first star I see tonight. Respected teachers and my dear friends, I am Anishka and I've prepared a model on constellations. If we observe closely, there's a certain group of stars in our night sky that appear to form a pattern or picture. We call these patterns and pictures constellations. We have 12 constellations in our night sky that we see periodically, like Capricorn the mountain goat, Libra the scales, Scorpio the scorpion, Virgo the maiden, Leo the lion, Cancer the crab, Gemini the twins, Taurus the bull, Aries the ram, Aquarius the water bearer, Sagittarius the archer, and Pisces the fish. Thank you.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Good morning, respected teachers and my dear friends. My name is Anishka, and today we are going to talk about our first fantasy, stars. Stars are huge celestial bodies that are made up mostly of hydrogen and helium that produce light and heat from the churning nuclear inside their core. Stars are as diverse as anything else in our universe, and they also go through a life cycle like living beings. Their life cycle begins with birth, expands through a lifespan which is observed in the changes and growth of a star, and ultimately leads to death. It's just that the time frame of a star's life cycle is different from a life cycle of a living being. It lasts for billions of years.
Friends, we may see the tiny dots twinkling in the sky, but there are different types of stars. Protostar. A protostar is a collection of gases that has collapsed down from a giant molecular cloud. T Tauri star. A T Tauri star is a T Tauri star is a stage in a star formation and evolution. Well, when the star when the gravitational pressure holding the star together in its in the source is the source of all its energy. Main sequence star. Friends, the majority of all stars in our universe are the main sequence stars. Our sun is a main sequence star, and so as our neighbors Sirius and Alpha Centauri A. Main sequence star may vary in size, mass, and brightness, but they all are converting hydrogen into helium in their cores and releasing tremendous energy. Red giant star. When a star has consumed all its energy in its core, the fusion stops. A shell of hydrogen around the core ignites, continuing the life of a star. This phase of star's life lasts for a few hundred billion years. White dwarf star. When a star when a, when a star completely runs out of its hydrogen fuel in its core and lacks the mass to force higher elements into fusion reaction, it becomes the white dwarf star. Red dwarf star. Red dwarf star are the most common kind of star in our universe. These are main sequence stars, but they have such low mass that they are much cooler than stars like our sun. These stars are able to keep the hydrogen fuel mixing into their cores and can conserve their fuel for much longer, like 10 trillion years. Neutron star. The star dies in a catas- catastrophic supernova explosion, and Remaining core becomes a neutron star. Supergiant star. Supergiant stars are the largest star in our universe. These stars are consuming hydrogen fuel at enormous rate. These stars live fast and die young, detonating a supernova.
Wow, that's quite information, Parnika. In supernova phase, when a big star collapses itself down to a very small size after running out of its fuel, it shrinks to form an enormous mass. The gravitational force is so strong that it absorbs light and becomes a black hole. Well, that's not all about stars. Friends, my fantasy had always been the constellations. A constellation is a group of stars that appears to form a pattern or picture, like Orion the Great Hunter, Leo the Lion, and Taurus the Bull. Stars are distant objects. Their distances vary, but they all are very far away. If we exclude our sun, the nearest star, Proxima Centauri, is more than 4 light years away from Earth. I always wonder why most stars and constellations move. Well, as Earth spins on its axis, we on Earth observe the stars to move across our night sky from east to west. And for the same reason, our sun appears to rise in the east and set in the west. Even our constellations move to west gradually due to the movement of Earth on its orbit around the sun. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Shara. Today, I'm going to talk about fraction as a collection. What is fraction as a collection? A fraction in a collection means a part of a set or a collection. Simple example: a collection of variety of fruits in a basket. Total fruits in the basket is equal to 7. Number of bananas in the basket is equal to 2. Fraction of bananas from fruit collection is equal to 2/7. Fraction as collection with the example of solar system. Example: let's consider yellow planets, Jupiter and Saturn. What is the fraction of these planets in the solar system? Solar system is collection of 8 planets. Jupiter and Saturn are 2 planets in the solar system. So fraction is equal to 2/8. Another example. Let's consider below planets Earth, Uranus, Neptune, Mercury and Venus. What is the fraction of these planets in the solar system? Solar system is collection of 8 planets. Earth, Uranus, Neptune, Mercury and Venus are 5 planets in the solar system. Fraction is equal to 5/8. Question to you all. Let's consider below about planets: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. What is the fraction of these planets in the solar system? What is the fraction? Fraction is equal to 7/8. Thank you. I'm done.
Hello everyone, this is Shreyanshi Das. Today we have successfully completed our journey through our solar system.
We have learned many ideas about our solar system. We learned our solar system consists of the sun, our stars, 8 planets, and their natural satellites, such as the moon. Also, we learned about dwarf planets, asteroids, comets, stars, and constellations. This has been a fun project for us, and we have expanded our knowledge of the solar system. Thank you. Have a nice day.
This call is now being recorded.
Good morning, teachers. I am from grade 3. My name is Siddharth. Today I am going to present about dwarf planet. Dwarf planets meaning a dwarf planet is a planetary mass object that does not dominate its region of space and not a satellite. What are the 6 dwarf planets? Pluto, Eris, Ceres, Makemake, Huma, Hygiea. Dwarf planets more than 214 moons in the solar system. In our solar system, Eris is the one of the largest dwarf planets. Planet Hygiea is one of the smallest dwarf planets. What are dwarf planets made up of? Chemical composition. Pluto probably consists of a mixture of 70 rock and 30 water ice. Internal structure. Dwarf planets probably have a rocky crown surrounded by a mantle of water ice with more exotic ice such as methane, carbon maddox, and nitrogen ice coating the surface. In our solar system, Venus is one of the largest dwarf planet.
Hi one and all, I am Samika here and I will be presenting about Hermione Granger. Hermione Granger, the Harry Potter series is a novel written by J.K. Rowling. Hermione Granger, also known as Hermione, is only the child born to Muggle. Muggle is nothing but who does not perform magic. Parents are both are dentists. The title character, Harry Potter and Hermione along with Ron are best friends and they are also known as the Tyro. This is a Tyro. Hermione is the smartest girl among all. At age 11, she discovered she was a witch and was sent off to study at Harvard School for Witch and Wizards. This is a Harvard school. She loves to go to the library in her free time. Gryffindor. She gets sorted by the Gryffindor by the sorting hat as she was daring, nerving and brave. Prefect. She served as a prefect in 6th and 7th grade. Prefect is nothing but an badge of monitor in Harvard School. She had a pet cat named Crookshanks. Do you see a cat next to Hermione? He is Crookshanks. In the movie, the character of Hermione is played by Emma Watson. She is Emma Watson. She is an Hollywood actor. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Dishan and today we are going to travel to Hogwarts virtually from London. Let's get started with the travel. Now, there's a place called Diagon Alley. There's a train station If we reach the train station, there's a train which we have to get on, and there's also a platform number called 9 3 quarters. Between 9 and 10, there is a wall. It's a magical wall where we have to get in through. We run and whoosh, we get into the 9 3 quarters. Good job, we reached on time. Now we have to go on a bridge. It's a very long bridge connecting to two places. After a very long journey, it was steep. When the train was going down the steep, down there was full snow. The train got jammed, and luckily after 2 hours the train started moving, and we only reached at night. Now, since Hogwarts is surrounded by water, we need to get in the boat and go in wooden boats. Early, the Hogwarts was found nearly 1,000 years ago. They only use wooden boats to cross. Now we have to get on the wooden boat and go. And there we go. We reached Hogwarts. Now I'm going to show you a map of Hogwarts. It's a Diagon Alley, the train station, Hogsmeade. Many more things are there. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Anirudh, and I'm going to present the place I like to visit. The place I like to visit is Srinagar. Srinagar is the largest city and the summer capital of Jammu and Kashmir. The earlier records mentioned the name of Srinagar, meaning the city of sun. Srinagar is known for the traditional Kashmiri handicrafts and dry fruits. I like the Kashmir apples a lot. I would like to get the Kashmir blanket when I visit. There are a number of lakes and swamps around the city. There are like the Dal, the Nagin, the Anchar and the Gilsar. Places I like to visit when I go to Srinagar: Dal Lake, Shalimar Bagh Mughal Gardens, Indira Gandhi Memorial Tulip Gardens, Aru Valley, Nagin Lake, Jamia Masjid, Beetap Valley, Dachagam National Park, and Parimahan. Thank you.
My kind regards to everybody. I am Sri Lakshmi Bharati. Redbridge International Academy is my school. I am 4th grade and section A. I'm sharing my first day experience at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. I received a mail from Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. I didn't believe my eyes that I got placed in Hogwarts School. Hagrid came to pick me up. I went to the Diagon Alley with Hagrid to buy things for me and my school. One more student named Harry was also with me. Almost everything in the wizard world was available at the Diagon Alley, but I did not have any money to buy them. Hagrid took me to the Grinton's bank. Goblins were in charge of the Grinton's bank. Hagrid had my vault key, and I went to my vault in a rail car with Hagrid and withdrawn some money. I bought a wand from the famous Ollivanders. Hagrid also got a bunny for me. Hagrid left me and Harry with a ticket to Hogwarts. Next, we met the Weasley's family there. With their help, we reached platform 9 3/4. I boarded the Hogwarts Express along with Harry and Ron Weasley. On the way, I met my best friend Hermione. We finally reached Hogwarts. Hagrid received us all and took us to the Great Hogwarts by boat. It was large, a 7-story high building supported by magic with 142 staircases and many towers. Deputy Headmistress Professor Minerva McGonagall welcomed us and greeted us. She took us to the dining room to get our house sorted. House selection happened in the dining hall in front of Professor Dumbledore. I got selected in Gryffindor house along with my friends. We had a grand feast and left to the dormitory with our house leaders. The staircase to the dormitory was moving and surrounded by talking pictures. I reached the girls' dormitory with Hermione and went to bed after a very long day. Thank you.
Good morning everyone. Welcome to Show and Tell. Today me and my group are going to tell you about how Europeans conquered India. The British East India Company came to India as traders in spices, a very important commodity in Europe back then. It was used to preserve meat. Apart from that, they primarily traded in silk, cotton, indigo dye, tea, and opium. They landed in Indian subcontinent on August 24, 1608 at the port of Surat. How and when did they reach India? In 1498, Vasco da Gama of Portugal discovered a new sea route from Europe to India. He reached Calicut by sailing around Africa via the Cape of Good Hope. This was the first arrival of European in India by sea route. Portuguese explorer Vasco da Gama reached India via Atlantic Ocean when he arrived in Calicut. This picture beside the paragraph shows how Vasco da Gama reached India by sea route and land route. India's first war for independence. We fought our first independence in 1857 on 10th May. The first battle was Mangal Pandey. Some other rebellions included Tatya Tope, Rani Lakshmi Bai, and Tipu Sultan. This map shows India before and after independence. It also shows the division of British India into two independent domains, India and Pakistan. In 1947, British withdraws from the area and it was partitioned into independent countries, India and Pakistan. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Thank you.
Going to show when and where the Europeans came with the help of this model. This is Calicut. The next to come, the Portuguese explorer Vasco da Gama arrived in Calicut 1497. Later on, Portuguese moved to Goa. This is Calcutta. The next to come were the British. They set up the East India Company in Calcutta. This is Masulipatam. The Dutch founded their first factory in Masulipatam in Andhra Pradesh in 1605 AD. This is Pondicherry. The last to arrive were the French. They set up their center in Pondicherry in 1623. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Sally and today my topic is how the British conquered India. In 16, the British came to India as trades. In the order to expand their trades, they started taking up and expanding their territorial control in India. The East Indian Company formed by Royal Charter. In 1613 to 14, the British East India Company set up trading posts at Surtan. The East Indian Company started factory at Bombay, Calcutta and Madras. In 1751, the rebel slew Arcot in modern Tamil Nadu as French and the British fought for controlling of the South Indian. In 1757, Battle of Plassey was a victory of the British over the Nawab of the Bengal and his French allies. In 1764, the Battle of Buxar, the British defeated Mughal Empire and became the ruler of the Bengal. The British defeated the Sultan of Mysore. In 1799, the British owned Srirangapatnam. Tipu was killed during the defense of the city. In 1803, the Second Alno-Maratham War recruited in the British control for large part of the India, including Delhi. In 1809, the British made a bargain with Ranjit Singh for exclusive area of influence. In 1849, the Sikh army was defeated by the British at Amritsar. In 1876, the British Queen Victoria heard of Church of England was proclaimed Empress of the India. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jitendra Sata. We grade 5 students have made this exploring that called land route and water route, Europe to India. So let's jump into it. In 80s, Europeans started trading India for cotton, spices, and silk, and etc. I don't know about that. Okay, this is the land route. This is the land route to Europe to India. But unfortunately, the Turkeys blocked the route. As you can see, this is the Turkey and this is the land route. They blocked the route so the Europeans can trade. But the Portuguese were the Portuguese. He was an explorer in Europe. He made a water route. He started over here, went through the Africa, and came over here to Goa. And as you can see, the Portuguese were the first ever to trade India. So, the Portuguese, when they traded India, others want to trade India. Like other examples like America, and I don't know about that. Let's leave it about that. As you can see, these states are the first states that were trading about. So let's come in. Goa, Kunaya, Kolkata, Kunar, Duman, Diu. These states, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 states were the first trades that made in 80s with Portuguese. After that, the Indians were not getting that much salary, and the farmers not getting that much food to eat. So what they did? That's it. The Indian people stopped the Europeans, the Indians stopped Europe's to not trade India. So that's why we don't trade. The Europeans not even trading India. You got to understand. I'm Jitin, grade 5. Okay. Welcome to Show and Tell. I should tell you in the first, but I don't. Thanks. Bye all. Bye.
My name is Rehan. Today, grade 5's theme is Travel from Europe to India. Me and Akshani are going to be explaining about why Europeans came to India and about spices and art pieces. In this topic, we are going to be explaining about why the Europeans came to India, who found the sea route and where they first landed in India, what British took from us, and trading routes by sea. Let's start. Why Europeans came to India? Trade in agro-based product like cotton and handicrafts was the major reason which led to the advent of Europeans. Sea routes were discovered in order to reduce conflicts, taxation, etc. Arrival of Portuguese in India. Vasco da Gama, first Count of Vidigueira, was Portuguese explorer and the first European to reach India by sea. Portuguese explorer Vasco da Gama became the first European to reach India via the Atlantic Ocean when he arrives at Calicut on the Malabar coast. Spice trade between Europe and India. The spice trade refers to the trade in spices between the historical civilizations in Asia, Northeast Africa and Europe. Spices such as cinnamon, cassia, etc. were known and used as antiquity for commerce in the Eastern world. Trade routes by sea. In China, during the reign of the Kangxi Emperor, 1661 to 1722, there was a great expansion in trade between the East and West. In the 16th century, European mariners, adventurers, and traders explored the world in search of wealth and new shipping routes. The tea, silk, and porcelain were traded for wool, tin, lead, and silver. I'm going to hand over the rest of the slides to Dakshayani.
The Kohinoor diamond. The Kohinoor is also spelled as Kohinoor, and Kohinoor is one of the largest cut diamonds in the world, weighing 105.6 carats. It's a part of the British Crown Jewels. What British took from us. Drawing on the nearly 2 centuries of detailed data on tax and trade, Patnika calculated that Britain drained a total of nearly $45 trillion from India during the period of 1765 to 1938. It's a staggering sum. Spices. For starters, spices contribute rich flavor to food without adding any calories, fat, sugar, or salt. Some of the main spices are cumin, coriander, nutmeg, and mustard. These are the spices that they took from us. Art pieces. Some of the main art pieces are Pattachitra paintings, Madhubani paintings, Kalamkari paintings, and Mandana paintings. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Today, I'm going to be talking about art pieces. As you can see, I have given up a few art pieces: Mandana, Wali art, Bond art, Kalamkari art, and Madhubani art. Mandana art is famous in Rajasthan. Wali art is found in Maharashtra. Bond art is found in Madhya Pradesh. Kalamkari art is found in Andhra Pradesh, which is also now found in Telangana, and Madhubani art, which is found in Bihar. These are all a few famous art pieces.
Good morning. My name is Samhita and today I am going to talk about spices of India. Cumin. Cumin is grown in Gujarat and Rajasthan. Indigo. Indigo is grown in the Himalayan regions of Uttarakhand. Ginger. Ginger is grown in Assam, Sikkim, Meghalaya, Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, and Bihar. Turmeric. Turmeric is grown in Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, West Bengal, Meghalaya, Maharashtra, Orissa, and Assam. Chili. Chili is grown in Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, and Kerala. Pepper. Pepper is grown in Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. Nutmeg. Nutmeg is grown in Thrissur, Ernakulam, and Kottayam in Kerala, Kanyakumari, and Tirunelveli in Tamil Nadu. Cardamom. Cardamom is grown in Kerala, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu. Cinnamon. Cinnamon is grown in Western Ghats, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. Mace. Mace is grown in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and Karnataka. Coriander. Coriander is grown in Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Rajasthan, and Madhya Pradesh. Cotton. Cotton is grown in Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Karnataka, and Maharashtra and parts of Andhra Pradesh. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bhavish, and we are going to discuss about the terrestrial plants and animals as well as aquatic plants and animals while they were traveling from Europe to India. So first, I'm gonna show you the route of Portuguese by the sea when they came to India. They traveled by Atlantic Ocean and by the Indian Ocean, and they reached India at Calicut. So European animals. The brown bear. The brown bear is a rather large mammal weighing from 220 to 1,400 pounds, and its weight can be till the 260 to 360 or 50 kg, and it can go up to 1.70 to 2.20 meters tall. The European jackal. The European jackal is a subspecies of the golden jackal present in Anatolia, the Caucasus, and southeast Europe. It can weigh up to 14 kg and it can grow up to 85 centimeters. The European mouflon. The European mouflon is a wild sheep that originates from the Mediterranean islands of Corsica and Sardinia. They have length of 120 centimeters. The Eurasian lynx. The Eurasian lynx is a medium-sized wild cat native to northern, central, and eastern Europe. And it can weigh up to 80 to 130 centimeters and can weigh up to 18 to 30 kilograms. The European aquatic plants. The Pistia. The Pistia is a genus of aquatic plant in the arum family. It is often called as water cabbage, water lettuce, Nile cabbage, or shellflower. European water chestnut. European water chestnut is an aquatic invasive plant species con- uh, consisting of floating leaves that form a rosette on a water body surface. It can grow up to 3.4 to 4.5 meters. The Elodia. The Elodia genus of 5 or 6 species of submerged aquatic plants in the frogbeds family. It is useful in aquariums and in laboratory demonstrations of cellular activities. Pie chart on the grains that were grown in India during British rule. Uh, the tea plant, which was grown 17.3%, the opium, which was grown 17.6%, and wheat, which was grown 27.9%, and rice, which was grown 37.2%. Now, crops grown in British rule will be explained by Divyanshu.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Divyanshu, and I'm going to be talking about crops grown in British rule. Opium. Opium is a dried latex obtained from the seed capsules of the opium poppy, Papyrus somniferum. Approximately 12% of opium is made up of the analogous calcoid morphine, which is processed chemically to produce heroin and other synthetic opioids for medicinal use. Indigo dye. Indigo dye is an organic compound with a distinctive blue color. Most indigo produced today is synthetic, constituting several thousand tons each year. Wheat. Wheat is a grass widely cultivated for its seed, a cereal grain, which is a worldwide staple food. Wheat attains an average height of 4 feet (1.2 meters). Wheat is a tall annual cereal plant whose grain is ground and used for the flour or for producing bread, pasta, pastries, etc. Tea plant is a species of evergreen shrubs or small trees in the flowering plant family Theaceae, whose leaves and leaf buds are used to produce tea. Tea plant can take 3 years to reach maturity. African animals. Tsessebe. The common tsessebe or tsessebe is one of the 6 subspecies of African antelope. The weight can be 110 kgs of an adult and 1.7 meters in length. The Narayana Trojan. The Narayana Trojan is a largely green and red, medium-sized bird of the family Trigonidae. Their numbers are locally depleted due to deforestation. The Nyla. The lowland Nyla, or simply Nyla, is a southern spiral-horned antelope, native to southern Africa. The body length is 135 to 195 centimeters, and it weighs 55 to 140 kgs. The aardwolf. The aardwolf is an insectivorous mammal native to East and Southern Africa. Its name means earth wolf in Afrikaans and Dutch. The weight can be 7.9 kg and 70 meters in length.
At ocean and animals, the box jellyfish. The box jellyfish are Canadian in verbs distinguished by the tube-shaped medullae. The fully grown jellyfish can measure up to 20 centimeters. The blue-winged octopus. The southern blue-winged octopus is one of the highly venomous species of blue-winged octopuses. An adult it can grow up to 20 centimeters long, average of 20 weighs 26 grams. Indian mottle eel is found throughout the Indian subcontinent and neighboring regions, including East Indies, showing the typical characteristics of the egret. This species grows to 1.2 meters, as much as 6 kgs.
The Indian river dolphin. The South Asian river dolphin is endangered freshwater or river dolphin found in the in the region of Indian subcontinent. Scientific name Clanstria gangenetic.
Good afternoon. My name is Divyansh and I'm going to be showing my pie chart. Here is the pie chart that I have created. As you can see, tea plant was the least grown during the British rule. And just above is opium, the second least grown. And then you have wheat coming in at 27.9%, and then rice, which was grown the most, at 37.2%. Thank you for listening.
This is Europe map. Astrological catfish. Astrological catfish is a species of fish in the family Sciuridae. It is endemic to Greece, where it occurs in the Achelous River drainage. Tench. The tench or the doctor fish is a fresh and brackish water fish of the order Cyconiformes, found through Eurasia from Western Europe, including British East into Asia as far as the Obi and Yangtze rivers. Mediterranean monk seal. The Mediterranean monk seal is a monk seal is a monk seal belonging to the family Phycoidea. As of 2015, it is estimated that further than 700 individual survivors in 3 or 4 isolated small population is the Mediterranean. In the Aegean Sea, the archipelago of Mediterranean and the Carbo area in the northeastern Atlantic Ocean. Mollusca. The mollusca is the second largest phylum of invertebrate animals after the arthropoda. The members are known as the mollusks or the mollusk. Cormorant. Crocodile is a family of approximate 40 species of aquatic birds commonly known as cormorants and shags. Arboreal seal. The harbor seal, also known as the common seal, is a true seal found among the temperate in the Arctic Mediterranean coastlines of the northern hemisphere.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tarun, and today I'm going to be presenting how a land and sea route and how Vasco da Gama found India. Vasco da Gama. This is Vasco da Gama's route of how from Europe, from Portugal, Europe to India, Calcutta. About Vasco da Gama. Vasco da Gama was best known for being the first to sail from Europe to India by rounding Africa's Cape of Good Hope. Over the course of 2 voyages, beginning in 1497 and 1502, Vasco da Gama landed and traded in locals along the coast of South Africa before reaching India on May 20, 1498. Distance took to reach India, 24,000 miles. By the time Vasco da Gama returned from his first voyage to India in 1499, he had spent more than 2 years away from home, including 300 days at sea, and had traveled some 24,000 miles. Sea distance, 6,467 kilometers. It takes 6,467 kilometers, 300 days to reach India from Europe. Land distance. The voyage it takes from England to Europe via the Cape of Good Hope took 6 months at least. Temperature it took during Vasco da Gama's voyage to India. The average temperature in uh, Vasco da Gama's is 27.3 Celsius and 81.1 Fahrenheit. This is a picture of what he went throughout the year. Now will show us a chart.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lakshana, and today I am going to speak about land and sea distance from Europe to India. The Portuguese, the Dutch, the British, and the French were the four major European powers who arrived in India to establish their trade links and subsequently held colonial possessions. Europeans have been visiting India for thousands of years, and Indians have been doing the opposite trip. Here is how these trade look like. Blue ones based on water and red ones based on land. Europeans had to pay money to the people of the region from where their trade goods were transported. This led to a very high price of spice in Europe, so they desperately needed to find a new sea route to minimize this cost. Portuguese were the first to find a sea route to India. Portuguese explorer Vasco da Gama becomes the first European to reach India via the Atlantic Ocean when he arrives at Calicut on the Malabar coast. Da Gama sailed from Lisbon, Portugal in July 1497, rounded the Cape of Good Hope, and anchored at Malandi on the east coast of Africa. With the aid of an Indian merchant, he met there. He then set off across the Indian Ocean. The Portuguese explorer was not greeted warmly by the Muslim merchants of Calicut, and in 1499 he had to fight his way out of the harbour on his trip home. In 1502, he led a squadron of ships to Calicut to avenge the massacre of Portuguese explorer there and succeeded in subduing the inhabitants. In 1524, he was sent as viceroy to India, but he fell ill and died in Cochin. Longitude of 2.3 and latitude of 48.8, India is a city located at the longitude of 77.1 and latitude of 28.5. The total distance between Europe and India is 6,590 kilometers and 848.43 meters. The mile base measurement distance is 4,095.4 miles. The European Asian Sea Route, commonly known as the Sea Route to India or the Cape Route, is a shipping route from the European coast of the Atlantic Ocean to Asia's coast of the Indian Ocean, passing by the Cape of Good Hope and Cape Agulhas at the southern edge of Africa. The first recorded completion of the route was made in 1498 by Portuguese explorer Vasco da Gama. The route was important during the Age of Sail, but became partly obsolete as the Suez Canal opened in 1869. The Suez Canal was opened for trade in 1869. It has reduced the distance between India and Europe by 7,000 kilometers. Earlier it was 19,800 kilometers, but now it is just 11,600 kilometers.
One can sail across the Mediterranean Sea and then utilize the Suez Canal in Egypt to reach the Red Sea. Via the Gulf of Aden, one enters the open waters of Indian Ocean and from there one sails through the coastal regions of India. The Suez Canal reduces the distance between the east and the west by preventing the need to navigate around the continent of Africa. Its importance is further augmented by the growing volume of world trade and maritime transportation. Thank you.
Will shows a chart of how Vasco da Gama came to India.
Good morning, everyone, and my name is Tanmay. Today, I am going to speak about land and sea distances. How did Vasco da Gama travel and came to Europe and India, and how did he discover it? Vasco da Gama was born in 1498, Sines, Portugal, and he was the only person who lived India via the Atlantic Ocean. And when he came to discover to India, he spent 300 days on the sea. And he reached at Calcutta and investigated and discovered the types of things, how it can be used of India. And Vasco da Gama discovered the sea route of the things, sea route like this.
Everyone, my name is Pratiksha Praveen Rokade. My topic is route map of Vasco da Gama. Voyage to India. On 8th July 1497, Vasco da Gama started his voyage in search of India from Lisbon and first reached at Cape of Verde Island. On 3rd August 1497, he was start voyage through Atlantic Ocean and reached at last point of Africa known as Cape of Good Hope. On 8th December, he was started his voyage from Cape of Good Hope and reached at coast of Natal on Christmas Day. By crossing various rivers inward and outward, he was started his voyage towards Mozambique. In between, he had took rest for 1 month, and during then he was repaired his ship. On 2nd March, he was reached at Mozambique. On 7th September, he was reached at Malidi. Here he was meet Gujarati pilot who knows the route of Calicut. After 20 days run across Indian Ocean, he could see the Ghats and mountain of India. On 7th May, he was reached at Calicut, returned to Portugal. In July, he was left Calicut. On 8th January 1499, he was reached at Malidi. On 1st February, he was reached at Mozambique. On 20th March, he was reached at Natal and then Cape of Good Hope. On 10th July, he was reached at Cape of Verde Island. Then he was reached at Chorley. On 9th September, he was reached at Lisbon.
Good morning. My name is Ashit Kumar J from grade 7. So today I'm going to do my show and tell project about light. So first we'll go through the introduction of light. So there are different sources produce different kinds of light. The sun produces light because it is hot, and this type of light is called incidence. So what is incidence? Incidence is an emission by a hot body of radiation that makes it visible. Other light sources like fireflies or TVs are not hot. The kind of light they produce is luminous. So what is luminous? Luminous is the emission of light by the substance that has not been heated. Fireworks often have a mixture of both incident and luminescent, which is created by special chemicals. So, history of light. In 1802, Humphrey Davy invented the first electric bulb. He experimented with a electric battery and he connected wires to his battery with a piece of carbon. The carbon glowed and produced light, and that is why it was the first electric light. And electric light has been one of our daily uses, but it was not invented in a traditional sense. In 1879, Thomas Alva Edison, although he could be said to have created the first commercially practical incident light, means the first publicly used incident light, was he was neither the first nor the only person trying to invent it. There were more than 20 inventors of the incident lamps prior to Edison's version. So, reflection of light. When the ray of light approaches a smooth polished surface like a mirror, the light ray bounces and it is called the reflection of light. The angle of incidence and the angle of reflection with respect to the normal and the reflective surface. So regular and irregular reflection. So regular reflection is a reflection when the ray of light bounces on a smooth surface like a mirror and have a parallel each other and the image is formed. Irregular reflection is an is when the ray of light bounces on a uneven surface like rock, wood, paper. The image is not formed, and that is why it's the irregular reflection of light. So how does light travel? Light is known the fastest substance in the universe. It travels about 1,86,000 miles per second, which means it takes only 8 minutes to reach the earth from the sun, 93 miles away. It takes 1 second for the light reflected of the moon to reach the earth. Light always travels in straight line until encounters a different substance. Like all electromagnetic waves, it obeys the equation C is equal to frequency of electromagnetic waves and wavelength, where C is equal to 3 into 10 powered by 8 miles per second is the speed of light in vacuum. F is the frequency of electromagnetic waves, and the signal is its wavelength. What is light? Light is a form of electromagnetic radiation which are produced when objects' atoms heat up. Light travels in waves and is the only form of energy that is visible to human eye. When an object atoms heat up, photons are produced. From the movement of atoms, the hotter the object, the more photons are produced. So, electromagnetic spectrum. The electromagnetic spectrum is comprised of all varieties of radiation in the universe. Gamma rays have the highest frequency and radio waves have the lowest. Visible light is approximately in the middle of this spectrum. Uses of light. It helps us to see things. It helps plants to make food and grow. It is used in power satellites and space stations. It is used in many electronic appliances. The energy light from the sun can be harvested to solar panels and can be used for domestic uses since it is eco-friendly and cost effective too. Types of light energy. Visible light and visible light, infrared light, and ultraviolet lights are the only types of light energy. So visible light is the only light that can be seen through naked eye. The main source of visible light is the sun, and it can also be emitted by lanterns, flashlights, and light bulbs, etc. Infrared light is an electromagnetic energy which is almost used in all electronic appliances like the television with remote, since infrared waves travel from your remote to your TV. X-rays and ultraviolet lights. These are the most harmful types of light energy, and it also used in hospitals to look at your bones when when frac- when to find out fractures or on our bones. So if the ozone layer is not there, the ultraviolet light could directly bounce to our earth and affect the earth very harmful and cause the humans skin cancer and a lot of harmful diseases. Thank you.
A Week in the Life of a Traveler by Rajlakshmi Reddy. When as a child, she went to many places, but her next trip was going to be epic because she was going to Paris and a country called Romania for 1 week. But before that, she had to book her tickets. Right when she was doing that, her friend called her and asked her how to book flight tickets online because it was her first time traveling. Reda explains, first we need to find a website that provides this service. But before that, do some research on the best price that is available. If you want, there are also some websites that compare ticket prices like Google Flights. After you find a website, it will usually ask you to type in from which airport you want a departure and which airport you want to arrive, and also the date of departure and return date. After that, you have to click select or enter, and it will show the different flights available at your specification. And then you could pick a flight and you can fill out all the formalities. And there you have a booked ticket. After Rena helped her friend out, she booked herself a flight as well, and after that she went to sleep because next day she had a long journey ahead. Day 1. The next day, Brenda was ready to go. She got in the cab with her luggage that she had packed 1 week earlier. After she reached the airport, she finished all the formalities and got onto the plane. It was going to take her 10 hours to reach Paris, and the plane was going at a speed of 500 kilometers an hour. Brenda wanted to find the distance between departure airport and arrival airport, but before that, she had to understand the relation between speed, distance, and time. So Rena opened her math book to the page speed, distance, and time. In that page, there were three formulas. Speed equals distance divided by time, distance equals speed times time, time equals distance divided by speed. After she observed these formulas, she had an idea on how to find the distance. She knew the time and speed, so she had to multiply 500 times 10, which is 5,000. So the distance between the two airports is 5,000 kilometers. Even if she only knew the distance in time or the distance in speed, they would have to divide them and she would know the answer. And like that, a day passed and she was there in Paris. Day 2. Rena woke up early in the morning so she can go and walk there because there was a park right outside the hotel that she was staying in. When she was walking out, she saw a stand with the travel brochures. One was in English, the other was in French. Rena took out both of the brochures and started reading so she can get an idea on where to visit Paris tomorrow. So this is the brochure. The left one is in English, the right one is in French. It tells us about the tourist attractions, geography, and fashion because it is one of the world's fashion capitals, and also about the language and climate, food, holidays in Paris. And that's it. Day 3. The next day, Rena visited most of the tourist attractions there in Paris. Next, she was headed to a place where she could ride a hot air balloon. After she reached there, she saw a person telling her about the hot air balloon. Hot air balloons. Material. The first free flight carrying a human happened in Paris, France on November 21st, 1783, in a hot air balloon made of paper silk by the Montgolfier brothers. Back then, they used silk because it was suited well to this purpose, but now, because of how expensive it is and how hard it is to repair this cloth because it is exposed to chemicals and bright light, they stopped using this fabric. Nowadays, people use nylon because it is can withstand a lot of the heat and tension involved in the hot air balloon flight because it is a polymer which has a high melting point of 220 degrees Celsius. The nylon is cut into squares or panels which are sewed together. The basket of the hot air balloon is usually made up of natural willow and cane, but these days they're also made of synthetic materials. But natural willow and cane is the best option because it is resilient, lightweight, and is very easy to keep clean. Propellants. The hot air balloon uses a burner which is filled with liquid propane to heat up the air inside. After the burner mixes the fuel with the air, it produces hot air, allowing it to rise. This is because, as science tells us, hot air rises because the air heated inside is lighter than the cooler air outside the balloon. Later, this overcomes the force of gravity, and the balloon will start to rise. Day 4. Today, Rena was going to a country called Revelia, so she wanted to learn more about the country. So she asked her friend who lived there to send a few photos and info on the country. Welcome to Revelia. Map of Revelia. States of Revelia. Revelia has 6 states, which are Inolda, Krama, Riena, Linelt, Loka, and Noki. Inolda is the largest state. Government of Revelia. Revelia is a democratic country. Democratic means when the people of Revelia get to peacefully choose their ruler by majority rule. Few other countries other than Revelia that are democratic are India, Norway, Sweden, Iceland, New Zealand, etc. Population of Revelia. Revelia has more than 50 million citizens in it. This chart below shows the population from 2009 to 2020. Main occupation. Revelia has a lot of industries in which people work in. It has automobile industries, mineral industries, but the industry that stands out the most in Revelia is the agricultural industry. It grows all kinds of crops like cotton, rice, wheat, etc. By this we can understand that most of Revelia's income comes from its industries. Export and import. Export. Revelia exports a lot of crops as the agricultural industries is really big here, and also exports vehicles. Revelia exports to countries like USA, France, Italy, etc. Import. Revelia gets a lot of import like electronic devices, fossil fuels from countries like USA, France, Italy, etc. Defense. Revelia has a very large army. The armies and defense system members are run by a government group called the Council of Defense. The leader of Council of Defense is the Minister of Defense and is elected every 5 years. Tourist attractions. There are many tourist attractions in Revelia, but three main places are the prairies of Krama, Alfusha Mountains, Palasa Museum. The end. Today, Rena was going to visit a research center where she was going to study about the layers of the earth because, as you know, Revelia has a huge industry of rocks and minerals. So one of the scientists was going to be her guide, and the scientist told her that in 2 days she was going to learn two different things each day. Today, they're going to learn about the basics of the layers of the earth, which are there are three main layers, and as I show, there are three main layers, which is the crust, mantle, and core. But I have also shown, and let's talk about the core. So the core is the deepest layer of the earth. It is 2,900 kilometers below the earth's surface. The core has two parts, inner and outer. So this is the inner and this is the outer. The inner core is made mostly of iron and nickel. This is one reason why the inner core is solid. The outer core, on the other hand, is liquid because it's made up of nickel iron alloy that became liquid from the high temperature. The inner core has a radius of 760 miles. The outer core is about 1,355 miles thick. The mantle. The mantle is above the core. It is 410 kilometers below the Earth's surface. The mantle is mostly made up of silicates, which means the variety of compounds that share silicon and oxygen structure. The silicates that are found in the mantle are olivine, garnet, and pyroxene. Another major rock found in the mantle is magnesium oxide. The mantle also contains some minerals like iron, magnesium, calcium, etc., which make the mantle very hot and dense. These rocks and minerals make the layer solid. The mantle is 1,802 miles thick. Crust. So this is the crust. It is the closest layer to the Earth's surface. The crust ranges from 5 to 70 kilometers in depth, and it is 3.1 miles thick under the ocean and 18.6 to 43.5 miles thick under the continents. The crust is made up of solid rocks and minerals, but in some areas of it has semi-solid magma. The last day, Rena was going to learn about how earthquakes affect animals, as earthquakes happen in the layers of the earth, inside the earth, and tectonic plates help with that. So a few points she learned were it can destroy animals' habitats. Also, because animals can detect earthquakes, they have a change in behavior like being confused or running before the ground starts to shake. Earthquakes not only shake the ground, but also can cause tsunamis, landslides, etc., which can cause extra destruction in the areas where animals live. Sometimes animals are also killed or endangered. Day 7. Today, Rena was going back home, but she knew that she would remember this wonderful journey forever. She understood that this is just the beginning of more wonderful journeys and adventures. The end.